oh, what do you have anything to be anxious about? All these kids are just lazy, and or these other things where, you know, they don't pay bills, they don't have to do this and that and the other. What do they have to feel anxious about? Assalamu alaikum, peace, is Nyla. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about communicating with your children. Are you listening? Are you listening? Because in order to communicate properly and effectively, we have to make sure we are good listeners, not just good speakers, not just good talkers, and not just talking our children or lecturing our children to death. So yeah, and it's interesting because we are, as parents, we say, hey, do this because I said so. Or, you know, I'm the parent, so I know better than you, and all this other good stuff, which, yes, we've been around a whole lot longer than our children. We've experienced a whole lot more than our children have. However, in order to communicate effectively, we have to be good listeners. Even if your child is 3, even if your child is, you know, 4 years old, 6 years old, 16, it doesn't matter. You know, even if you think that your child is going through a rebellious stage and they're just complaining all the time, when it comes to being mindful of what's going on in your household and being mindful of what's going on with your children, you want to make sure that you are listening, you're being very aware and being very attentive. And how you do that, you do ask questions and also give them their space. It's really interesting to even say that because, and I said give them their space versus give them their privacy, because there are sometimes that children and parents get it mixed up and think that they're entitled to things being very private and hidden from their parents. And as I stated before, because we've been around, we've experienced, we know certain things, the privacy is not much of privacy, is much more as, you know, giving them their space. And you know, so people say, well, you know, you read my journal, so, you know, you've invaded my privacy. Now, when it comes to speaking, now certain thoughts and certain things should be sacred. Like, they should be able to feel that they can come to you. Like, you shouldn't just be a bully and take, you know, their things and just go about and because I'm the parent, because I'm this, because I'm, you know, because I'm bigger than you, older than you, because I had you, I brought you in this world, I can take you out type of thing, is that, you know, you also want to instill this trust, you know. So yes, you can give them that type of thing where they can write down their thoughts, write down their feelings, but also give them an outlet to say, you know what, I want to be able to be included in that. I want to be able to help you with whatever is going on, because I have been through some things. And one of the best ways of doing that is being a little vulnerable yourself to your child. Sometimes as parents, we tend to think that we have to be the super strong superhero with no form of kryptonite, with no form of things that can break us down. And we create a false sense of this superhero mentality that our children want to be, where they feel that, you know, I don't want to be, you know, I want to be like my parent, that I never get hurt, I'll never cry, I'll never have these, you know, issues that bother me or anything like that. But it also puts them in a mindset of that my parent would never understand the pain that I'm going through, because they don't know what pain feels like, or they don't understand, you know, what this anxiety feels like, because they never experienced this, and it's just going to seem stupid to them. So you want to make sure you do give some type of vulnerability. Let them know what you went through as a child. I saw this Man episode. This is like one of a YouTuber that my kids and I tend to watch a number of his episodes. And he had one where the daughter was going through some anxiety, heavy anxiety. And the father didn't understand it. And the father stated that, oh, well, she's just oh, what do you have anything to be anxious about? All these kids are just lazy, and or these other things where, they don't pay bills, they don't have to do this and that and the other. What do they have to feel anxious about? So he really didn't have this understanding tone, and it was hard for her to even come to him. And she did not want to come to the father. And the mother stated to the father that it's a real thing. He was like, well, what makes you such an expert? She said, because I've been through it. And her daughter heard her say that. And her daughter came out and said, wow, you went through that. You had anxiety, and she was able to talk to her daughter about it. And they opened up about it. Even the husband understood after a while. He said, even though he didn't understand at that time, he decided to try to understand a lot more, because he said, okay, this is a thing. This is something. At least I'm going to be open to hearing about it. And he did. And they say, you know what, if you're ready to get some help, we're here to help you. We're here for you. And, we also, are okay with you getting, professional help if need be, type of thing. So in order for that to happen, though, there was some vulnerability that had to be there. They had to open up a little bit so the communication lines can be open. And that's with even your youngest, like a toddler. When it comes to my 3-year-old, I get down to his level. So I'm on my knees talking to him, or I'm sitting down on the floor talking to him. And I'm trying to figure out what he wants. I'll validate, or somewhat, I guess, for lack of a better word, I'll say validate his feelings, because your feelings are your feelings, regardless of if they're based on fact, or if they're just in your imagination. Your feelings are still your feelings. So I say, you feel upset, is it this reason? Is it that reason? Okay, well, and I also give them their space. Even my 3-year-old, he got upset the other day because there was a little friend that he made at the playground who let him, the little boy let him share his toys. But one of the toys that my son had of his, the little boy wanted to play with, but he wanted to give him another one in replace of that. My son didn't like that, but I had to let him know that those are his toys, and he's allowing you to play with those toys. So, let him get his toys back, and, he's trying to give you something else. My son, he's 3. He didn't understand. He didn't like it, or he probably understood it a little bit at the time, but he was still upset. So I told him, well, you can sit there and you can be upset. And when you're done with being upset, you can take the toy that your friend gave you and you can go back and play with him. But when you go back to play with him, tell him thank you for the toy. My son did that. It took him probably about 10 seconds. He was done being upset. He grabbed the toy that his friend let him play with. He went back over there, thanked his friend, and they played for the rest of the time that his friend was at the playground. And his friend let him keep that toy. So even as 3-year-olds, you can sit there but you have to be able to understand. You can sit there and help them through these hard situations. You can communicate with your 3-year-old. You can communicate with your toddler. You can do the same thing with a teenager who is possibly going through anxiety, or who's going through a quote unquote rebellious stage where they don't want to talk to anybody. But you have to see where those issues are coming from. You have to be attentive. That was a thing where I told myself I wanted to be extremely attentive to what my children are going through. I can tell when their mood shifts. I can tell when they're going through something. I can tell when they're having something that's really great in their life. Even if they don't physically tell, if they don't come out and tell me about it, I know. And when I do experience that, when I know and I can feel it, I go to them. I go to them first. They don't have to come to me first. But then as I go to them, I still let them know that they can come to me. And I will appreciate it if they come to me and share those wonderful things with me. And another thing is that I share my successes and my triumphs, as well as some of my vulnerabilities with them as well. Because they have to know that their parents are people too. I remember my son, who will be 22 this year, inshallah, stated to me, he was like, now as an adult, I see that my parents are people too. They're not just my parents, that they go through their troubles and issues and happiness and sadness and these different emotions just like we do. And I've seen it, but I didn't really understand it. And now I understand it. But I thank you. He said, I thank you, Umi, for showing that side of you, because I can understand it more as I go through the things. And still to this day, he can come to me about anything, and he does. And it could be hard conversations, and he'll start off that this may be hard on me, but I want to talk to you. And that's because I opened those lines of communication up very early on as a very young child. Now, if you haven't done that and your kids are older, let them know, hey, I want to try something new. I haven't done this in the past, but I want to try something new because I want us to get closer. I want us to connect. I want us to bond more. So it may not be easy at first, and it may be a little awkward, and it may take some time. But as time go on, and as long as you're consistent and congruent with it, inshallah, it'll come into place, and your children will understand how much you care about them, and they will be more apt to opening up to you, open up their world to you. So inshallah, you guys got some great nuggets from this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you do not miss a video that we have coming out. And inshallah, I will see you soon until the next video. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I'm Coach NAZIR.
And I'm Coach FATIMAH.
And I'm Coach Nyla.
And we are the founders of Outstanding Muslim Parents. I want to introduce you to something that you may be interested in, because you seem like a proactive parent already just by the video we interrupted. All right. And that's called the OMP Inner Circle. That's where we all train deep dive into parenting. So whether that's the first stage of children up to 7 years old, or 8 to preteen in the second stage, or of course the teenagers and young adults in the third stage, we deep dive with the 3 C's as well as the 3 E's. So what our members get every single month, all of our students, they get brand new training every single week. That includes downloadable audios, downloadable worksheets, so you can deep dive into it. And of course, you have our personal email addresses as well. However, every single month, we have a live Q&A for all of our students. So we go to answer the questions or deal with different challenges and things that they may be dealing with parenting, because we know it's an ongoing struggle. Just us, here being parents of 12 children.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to congratulate you on being proactive.
And make sure you click the link below in the description, and we'll let you get back to the video. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
Peace.